Mission 16, first time out in the Ju-88 A-4. We're going to bomb the supply dump at Courseulles-sur-Mer. We're based at Beauvais, Tillé. The outbound journey is west towards Beauvais at waypoint 2. We'll then pass south of Le Havre en route to Courseulles. We're currently outbound, heading towards waypoint 2, staying south of the River Seine as it tracks up towards Le Havre. I'm going to do 2 bomb drops in this mission. The first will be level bombing from 1,000 meters using my internal stores. The second will be a dive bomb with my 6 250 kilogram bombs. There's the searchlight, which tells us we're overhead Beachhead, waypoint 2. My plan here is to take a heading of 290 degrees and head towards Le Havre, because that will enable me to swing into target from the northeast, which is going to be the optimal approach angle here. I can see the Seine estuary from here. Le Havre is of course on the north side of that. Once I've reached Le Havre, I will continue on this heading for about 15 kilometers before turning to target. I am now feet wet off Le Havre. I'm about to turn towards Courseulles on a heading of 221 degrees. Pretty good weather conditions today, just some patchy cloud around. Time currently is about 21:15 hours, so we still have some sunlight coming in from the west, and I can see the Normandy coast up ahead. We have a Pathfinder plane over target right now. He's going to mark the target for us by dropping his bombs on it. This is the view of the target based on the heading that I'm coming in at. One of the buildings at the supply dump has already been destroyed by the Pathfinder. I'm going to try and line up on these 3 buildings here. Bomb bay doors are open. We're on the bomb run. Into the bomb site, I've got most of the dials set up already. I need to adjust the position of the bomb site to allow for the estimated impact of wind drift, which is showing as a 3.5 degree shift to the right. Everything is now set up. We're still some distance away. I'm going to have to steer the plane left a little bit to bring the crosshair in line with target. Meanwhile, the other bombers in my flight have already made it to Courseulles, having gone directly there after waypoint 2, and they are bombing the anti-air positions. I am closing in on target, just making some very small adjustments to stay on track. I can see the line of buildings I want to hit to the right of the flames. Three, two, one, bombs away. It's a good drop, right on target. Let's take another look at that from ground level. There are still 2 buildings left on the right hand side, which I'm going to try and dive bomb. I've carried on inland to extend away from targets a little bit before I turn back in for my dive bomb. I can see a pair of bombers off to my starboard side, but they've just collided. What a nightmare. I'm climbing as I extend. I need to pick up a bit more altitude so I can turn in and go for my dive bomb. Up to now, I seem to have escaped the attention of the AA guns. They are focused on the other bombers. I've climbed up to about 2,000 meters altitude, which should be enough for my dive bomb. And I'm about 5 kilometers out, so I've got enough time and distance to turn in now and line up on target. I think the other bombers are now egressing, so I'm hoping the anti-air guns don't all start firing at me. The challenge here is to get properly lined up on target. The wind is blowing from the east, so it's going to be pushing me to the left, and it's also going to mean my bombs drift left after they're released. One problem with the Ju-88 is you can't move the pilot's head much in the cockpit. You can see there's a machine gun there to the right which restricts my movement. So it's quite tricky to keep the target in view at all times. In the real world scenario, of course, the bombardier who's lying down next to me would be giving me some input. You can just about see the 2 buildings I am going for there. The plane's moving around quite a lot. I am climbing, trying to get a little bit more altitude so that I've got a bit more time to get the bombs on target and not worry about smacking into the ground. Searchlights are onto me now, so it's time to push the nose down, air brakes up, and off we go. You can see how far off to the right I'm aiming to offset the wind. Bombs are away. Here's the replay. You can see my approach angle was a little bit off. Nevertheless, I did destroy the 2 remaining buildings, and therefore all 6 of the mission target buildings have been destroyed. I'm heading straight out over water, egressing towards Le Havre. I've reached the mouth of La Seine. Le Havre is at my 10 o'clock. I've spotted a damaged bomber. Looks like it has just a small fuel leak. I'm going to shadow it as it continues inland towards waypoint 4. We've reached waypoint 4 about 10 kilometers east of Rouen and 50 kilometers out from home base. The bomber I am shadowing seems to be doing okay. It still has its bomb bay doors open, that's a bug, and I think it still has its ordnance. And then for whatever reason, as we turn towards home base, it just drops out of the sky. I don't think the crew bailed out, RIP. A bit scary landing this plane at night, but I've made it down safely, mission complete. There we are, 6 buildings destroyed, really happy with that. There's an extra level of immersion in these nighttime missions, which makes them really enjoyable to fly. The rest of the squadron did a good job of taking out the anti-air guns. Very sad to have lost 3 planes in what I think were avoidable circumstances. Thanks for watching, see you next time.